Hi! I don't know if you were able to catch my live earlier, but this video is a continuation of the Halloween quilt that I worked on in my live. So I've taken a few of the frames from my live and then added on, finishing up the quilt top using this awesome little pattern that I have. And this video is sponsored by Skillshare. I will get into that a little bit later. Although Oliver didn't join me for my live, he's here for the video version. So I'm going to show you how this quilt came together. I also need to add the last border onto the quilt. Let's get going. Okay, Halloween. So I went to a quilt show, I believe it was in Shepherdsville, which is really close to Louisville, and I bought this kit. Let me show you. It's already cut. It is Andover. I put it in the description below what the name of the collection is. And I mean, I just walked by and I started talking with this lady, and now I can't remember what her name was, but she has these squares that are all cut up, and this is the pattern. So it's a really simple pattern, and you know, you could probably make it yourself. There are different arrangements that you could put these in. So these are squares, and what we do is we look at the pattern, and the pattern tells you where to put fabric 1, fabric 2, fabric 3, fabric 4, fabric 5, fabric 6, and then you start over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I have to do is I have to pick fabric 1, I have to pick fabric 2, and I bet you can guess the next one is fabric 3, fabric 4, fabric 5, and fabric 6. And sew them together in rows. That's how nice and easy this quilt is. And as a matter of fact, she suggests that you leave these in the order that she had them in. And this particular pattern is supposed to look like a stair step. So what I want to do is I want to put a couple rows up on the design wall and then show you how I think I'm going to sew them together, because it's going to be really fast and really simple. All right.
Hey kid, nice costume. Wanna know what I am? Well, I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack.
So it's 7 across, and then you're going to have 10 rows. So now I'm on 1, then I'm going to go to the next row, and I'm going to put fabric 2.
The lantern, I'm a spooky witch and a scary monster, not a cookie clown or a giant lobster. I'm super orange.
So I thought, you know what I could do is I could just make a stack of all the squares and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and just continue that.
Hey kid, nice costume. Wanna know what I am? Well, I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack.
All right, so we are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1, so now I need 1. And then 2 will be the first of my next row. All right. All right, so I am putting my rows together, and the one thing about this particular pattern is you gotta nest your seams. So wherever you have 2 blocks together, and it's gonna be every 6 inches, this would be a great pattern to practice matching seams. And we'll see how well I did on this one. You wanna, oh, let's check. Let's see how I did. Here's, okay. All right, this one is a teeny tiny bit off. Not bad. Let's see. I think this one's pretty good. I'm wearing contacts for distance and close up. Hold on, that one isn't bad. Not bad. Sometimes they're like totally off. This one is off a stitch. That one looks pretty good. So this is how I would put it together. I would put 2 rows together at a time. And then put those rows together. So there are the first 2 rows, and it's called stair step. And see how these go this way? Nope. So I believe I should have this going. It's kind of backwards, but I believe this should just be like on a diagonal all the way down. So look, how cute. And so I've already gotten 4 of these done. I've multitasked and not even really paid attention to what I'm doing. Maybe I should do that more often. All right, so when this is all put together, I don't know if this is supposed to be my next border. So it's gonna have the bats. And then my outer border are jack-o'-lanterns. So they'll go out here. How cute.
Something between the
White, think it needs something between. Sherry thinks that maybe it needs some white in between maybe this and the black. Yeah, some white to break it up. Too bad I don't have any of this. That might be good. Yeah. I like it. This quilt will end up being 60 by 78. Here is where I am switching over from the live into the video, finishing the quilt. I don't know about you all, but between lives and videos and family activities and my real job and just everything that goes on in life, sometimes I feel like my life is just out of control. So I was scrolling through the Skillshare classes. Skillshare is a platform made by creatives for creatives. There are all kinds of classes out there for me to learn more about my craft. It could be photography or videoing or keeping my life organized. Notion is an application that I didn't even know existed until I looked at Skillshare. And it just so happens that a YouTuber with whom I am familiar, he is actually teaching the class. So I've already set up my Notion page, and I'm really excited to learn more about this really sophisticated application. So Skillshare is offering the first 500 people that click the link in my description below a free premium 1-month membership. So definitely take the time to click that link and go look and see what classes there might be for you. And here is my Notion dashboard. So I think I better get busy on finishing up this quilt because I have lots of things that I need to get done. So now I am sewing my rows together, and I just love that the little rebel goes so quickly. All right, now let's see, hold on. I've had to kind of go underneath, yeah, because my seams need to be nested. This guy flies. So what I did is I did each row, and now I am putting rows of 2 together. So I did 1 row, 1 row, 1 row, 1 row, and then when I finished all of the single rows, then I put 2 rows together, 2 rows together, 2 rows together, 2 rows together. And I'll show you the design wall in just a moment. And I can't decide, so I think I want to do bats when I quilt this, but I can't decide if I want to use my little rebel. I'm thinking I am going to use my long arm. I just love it when a quilt comes together so quickly. So let's pan over to the design wall. Okay, so here you can see rows of 2, and here I've taken the 2 rows of 2 and put them together. So let me put those up here. You know how I roll, it's probably going to be crooked. Okay, so then I'm going to take 2 more rows of 2. Have to make sure that I get the sides together that I want to sew together, because otherwise, yeah, it's not going to work. All right.
And I'm a spooky, spooky witch and a scary monster, not a kooky, kooky clown or a giant lobster. I'm super orange and very scary, but smooth as silk and never hairy. I'll scare your sister, I'll scare your friends, but as for you, well, that depends. Cause I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack-o'-lantern. I'm a spooky, spooky witch and a scary monster, not a kooky, kooky clown or a giant lobster. Pumpkin. I'm a pumpkin. I'm a pumpkin. I'm a well, I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack-o'-lantern. I'm a spooky, spooky witch and a scary monster, not a kooky, kooky clown or a giant lobster. I'm super orange and very scary, but smooth as silk and never hairy. I'll scare your sister, I'll scare your friends, but as for you, well, that depends. Well, I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack-o'-lantern.
I will press these later, but right now I'm just going to leave them the way they are because I may need to nest seams, and so I'll press it when it's done. Okay, I think it's easy for me to tell when I've put them in the right order because I see the squares going on the diagonal. So I know if I don't have these squares going on the diagonal, I didn't put it up there right. All right, so now options, just options. I can put these 2 together. I can add that one. I think I'm just gonna add, let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna add this. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's do these. So I'm gonna put these 2 together.
Hey kid, nice costume. Wanna know what I am? Well, I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack-o'-lantern.
Okay. So now I have an almost finished quilt. So I know the block 1 is this Harlequin print with the orange bats. And there are gray bats too. So this goes up here. I'm just gonna make sure that's right. Okay, and I know this ends up with that, that ends up with that. Okay, so I'm pretty comfortable in the fact that this part of this quilt attaches here. So what I'm gonna do, I like to, when I have a very large, and I'm saying very large, when I have a larger piece, I like to fold it so that it's not so large, because the less I have dragging on the edge, the easier it's going to be to quilt. And then now this actually goes like this. So I am going to match these like this. So this edge and this match. Now hopefully that is right. So here I've got the bulk. So I'm going to do this. And then that way the bulk is to the left and I am sewing the seam over here. Now I don't pin, and I could clip, but I don't do that either because I like to match my seams or nest my seams on the fly.
I'm a spooky, spooky witch and a scary monster, not a kooky, kooky clown or a giant lobster.
The center of my quilt top is complete. Let's get it hung up. This has been fun and quick. I am loving this. Of course, it was pre-cut, so you know, that does make a difference. It really does. All right. And I already know how I'm going to quilt it. I may have already said this. Bats. All right, so there's the quilt. Now, what came with the kit was, we'll go over here, was this border and then this border. But Sherry wanted something in between to break up, I guess, this middle part of the quilt and then the outside. So I found this gray ombre with gold in my stash, and it looks like this. Evidently I liked it a lot because I have more than one bit of fabric wrapped around. So it's got a gold hue to it, but it's ombre. So I'm going to put that around the outside of the center of the quilt, and then I will add this border and this border. Now, how I do my borders, I should have this cut out. So I've cut this at 2 inches. And what I do is I cut off the selvage. I'm just going to use some scissors to do that. And then I'll take this strip. So I'll take 2 strips and put them together. And I like to do my sides first. So I want a strip on the side, a strip on the side, and then I'll do a strip across the top and across the bottom. Now I learned something interesting the other day about floppy borders. So if I just sew this on the edge of my quilt and then cut it off without measuring, that can cause my border to stretch. And if I had somebody quilting my quilt, they may not like me very much. So I'm going to measure this strip Now they said you should measure the middle and each side. And then I guess take the average. Yeah, I missed that part of the conversation. But even if one of your sides is longer, you should be able to stretch your border out enough or bring your quilt in enough to keep your quilt within the border allowance that you've calculated. So this is how I'm going to calculate mine. These are 6.5 inch squares. So I have 10 rows, and a 6.5 inch square finished is a 6 inch square. Now I do still have a 1/2 inch, nope, a 1/4 inch at the top and a 1/4 inch at the bottom because I haven't added the borders to that yet. So I am going to say this is 60.5 inches. So I will sew my 2 strips together, and then I will cut 60.5 inches. And that is the strip size that I will use for each of these sides. Let's see how this all works out. So here I have a 60-inch border. I'm going to put that on my machine, and I do borders the same way that I do the rest of my quilting. So I'm going to fold this over. I'm just going to leave enough room for my border. And then I'm going to fold it again and fold it again. So when I am holding on to the quilt, I just have a little bit to hold on to. So I will start with the shorter part. So I've got my seam here and I've pressed it down. This is a 1/4 inch seam, just like the rest of the quilt.
Hey kid, nice costume. Wanna know what I am? Well, I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack.
Now for this border, I have the leftover from my previous strip and a full strip. And what I'll do is I'll put these two together and then cut this down to 60 inches. And I believe it might be just perfect because I think it was an inch longer. So I may have to cut off a 1/2 inch to make this 60 inches. My quilt top is complete. This quilt came together so fast. Now it was pre-cut, I realize that, but I think I can recreate this and I don't have to use the same size squares. Ultimately, there are 12 of 6 different patterns. So you could make the squares any size you want. Of course, the smaller they get, the smaller the quilt gets, and the bigger they get, the bigger the quilt gets. But it's a fun pattern, it comes together quickly, and this is just gonna make the cutest Halloween quilt. Now these jack-o'-lanterns, they remind me of how disorganized I can be. So I want to thank Skillshare for giving me the opportunity to use their platform, and that's how I came across the Notion class. It has made all the difference in the world. I now have one place that I can go and keep everything organized that I need, things I need to do, dates on my calendar, deadlines for things. It's really cool. Skillshare is a wonderful platform, and I hope that you take the opportunity to check it out. So Skillshare is offering the first 500 people that click the link in my description below a free premium 1-month membership. So definitely take the time to click that link and go look and see what classes there might be for you. And this, I have enough left over that I can bind the quilt. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Eat some chocolate and be kind to everyone. Until next time, bye. Having a high maintenance dog. She's so cute.